Good evening to you, my friends. It is a pleasure to come and to talk with you, because you know we in the spirit world have much to say to you on the earth plane, because many of you are willing to listen to what we have to say, to put a different idea forward from time to time, because you know in your day-to-day living you become enmeshed within materialism, within the material physical world, because you see you are journeying forward in that world, and your spiritual self is journeying with you, because it is the spirit that is encased within that physical form. And so when you reach that point in your life that you call death, it is but shedding the overcoat of the physical body and setting free your true self, that spirit that is you, the real person that you are. And then with that spirit being released from the confines of the physical body and matter of your world, then a new life begins. And so it is that there is the continuance of the spirit, and it is one of your principles, is it not, that the spirit continues into that world of light. And that poem that was read was chosen by a lady that was not particularly interested in your religion of spiritualism, and yet that was a poem that told you that life continued, and that you were not to grieve and shed tears. You were to help that person on their continuing journey of life by remembering the love shown to you, and to remember that you also showed love to that individual. And that is how it is, your life with your family and your friends. You may indeed have disagreement from time to time, because that is inevitable, you know, because sometimes you have to air your grievances and clear the air, because you are all individuals with different ideas and ideals and different problems that you face throughout your lifespan. And so you learn, shall we say, the art of compromise, and you have to give and take. And so it is in our world also. All of you can be channels for the Spirit in your day-to-day living, because the gifts of the Spirit are bestowed on all of you. No one is exempt from the gifts of the Spirit, because the Spirit is the real person that you are. So you all have ability, you see, to help yourself firstly, and in so doing to help others. And so there is this give and take from one state of existence to another. And that is why we in the spirit world are so interested in what you get up to in your life. You are all seeking understanding of the Spirit, of the truth, of the journey that you are undertaking, and the journey that will continue as you transform that spirit within you from one state of existence to another. In your world there is much that will worry you, and the world as a whole that you see through your media channels is a little daunting, to say the least. because it seems that one person always seems to be fighting another, not just in your war-torn countries, but individuals also can clash quite heavily with each other. But we would tell to you that the light of the Spirit is always at hand to guide and assist you, the individual. If the individual can find peace within themselves, and everybody tried to do that, then your world would soon calm itself down, and you would see how it is that the light of the Spirit can dwell amongst mankind in your earthly existence of life. There have been many that have walked the earth, shining that light of their own spirit, and working with those guides and helpers from the spiritual realms, and much has been documented when they are promoting all of the time peace and love to be shared one with the other. It is a case, you know, of understanding what that spirit within you is, and understanding that although you grieve the loss of the physical of your loved ones, their spirit continues, and they are very much aware of you living within the earth's vibration. And so nothing is lost, and there is much to gain by linking with that spirit within and the spirit world. You are asked that you test the spirit, because much information is imparted to you on an individual basis, through your own mind, through the dream state, and yet you push it aside sometimes without any thought, telling yourself that you have a vivid imagination, or the dream was nonsense, or the fact that you just might be dealing with coincidence. But we would say to you that all this that you think and put aside in those ways is really what we would term reality. For your life on the earth, it can be one of illusion if you do not get down to the nitty-gritty of understanding yourself as a spiritual individual, as a being of light, the light to be shone forth in your actions. Because sometimes words can be empty, you know, and yet your actions will speak volumes to many. And so you have to go about your business with the correct motives, so that you are being honest with yourself. And then you see your gifts of the Spirit will come to the fore. You all have feelings, do you not? You may be house hunting to change your place of abode, and you would know instantly as you stepped across the threshold of a property whether it was for you or not, because you are sensitive to the vibrations of the spirit world and of the physical world also. And so you have to be passionate about what you want, and if you can work with that passion in your day-to-day living, then your life will be indeed a lot easier as you move forward. Too many of you put obstacles in your way that needn't be there, because your mind goes off on a tangent and you fear the worst outcome possible. And so your mind is in what we would term overdrive. That is why it is good if you can find time in your day to rest your mind And although meditation may seem difficult, you all daydream from time to time, even with your eyes open. How many have you have been driving a vehicle and then realized that you've not remembered how you got to those set of traffic lights and you've missed the roundabout in between? But you were driving on automatic pilot, shall we say, and then you see, you forget what you have seen. And so it is in the way that we can work with you. If you allow yourselves to have an open mind, then we can influence you for the better, to give you these good ideas as to a way forward around and over the obstacles that you all have to face in day-to-day living. And so, those words of that poem were telling you about an afterlife, because it ended by saying that you would be welcomed home by that individual that you would have been grieving over at the loss. And so they were quite adamant that they were going to travel into a different life. And so it is that we want to give you all this hope and this understanding of the continuous existence of the human soul. It is important that people understand this truth and want to ask questions and find out for themselves by having proof of survival of the spirit of their loved ones and friends. And so it is good for you to keep inquiring minds and asking questions, because we in the spirit world do not get tired of those questions. And so you see, when you say your prayers, you are linking with the spirit world, and it is not always, please can I have this, that, or the other, because you all have concerns for your world as a whole, and you know that there is much that is needed to bring healing to your planet, for the kingdom of nature and animals, and for everything that is about in your world. Because there is a power, the power that you know to be the fatherhood of God, that keeps things in an orderly fashion. But there are many in your world that try to take control. But you cannot have power over God, but you can work within the power of the great Spirit of God, the Father. You all have in equal measure the same Spirit and God power within you. It is up to you how you use it and utilize it in your best interests and in the best interests of those that walk with you from the spirit realms of life. And so we would remind you of your personal responsibility in your own way of living. Look towards the light of God the Father, and you cannot fail in your quest. You will automatically move on. Your spirit will be free at some time from the confines of matter, and then you will see the beauty of the spirit world and the purpose of your life for a short time that was spent in physical matter. And so you see, you are all journeying on the same journey of life. And so we wish you well, my friends, in that journey. And we promise to give you all the help that you need. And all that we need you to do is to accept the truth that there is no death, only eternal life. And so we say to you, my friends, good night and God bless.